Hello YouTube. Basically what I've got here is a Pokemon Online match against a random person, which I quite liked. Before we get into the match, I think my team is Tyranitar, what else is there? Espeon, Umbreon, Kingdra, and there's two other guys which are Terrakion and Skarmory, I think. No, it probably isn't Skarmory. It doesn't really matter. We'll have a look at it as we go through. It's a little bit an old match. I think I had it 2 or 3 days ago. I keep changing my team every 5 minutes, but this is probably the best match we had so far. So we're just gonna sort of dive straight into it, and hopefully we can sort of start from the beginning. So I leave my T-Tar as he leaves with his Sableye. I predict the move coming in, which is going to be a status move. So I go into my Espeon. He then goes for the Taunt, which I just bounce back, and as Sableye's moves are pretty much going to be Will-O-Wisp and whatnot, my Espeon then bounces back the move as he switches out to Ninjask. I then go for the Reflect on the switch, which means that his team will be doing less damage because I see the Ninjask and I think, oh, I know he'll be able to go for the U-turn or whatever and be able to KO my Espeon. He then decides to sword dance up, I can't speak, sword dance up, which was quite an obvious play, so I go for Hidden Power and managed to KO the Ninjask, because I think my Espeon this game was max special attack, a little bit of speed, and I think it's a timid nature or something. He then goes out to Terrakion. I'm thinking the only reason why I go out to Terrakion is because he's carrying the X's with the Scarf, so I'll go out to Sizzle, which will then take that the X's quite well. He then decides to go for the Stone Edge, which I'm guessing means that he will predict me to come in with something else. With Scizor, I then decide to go for the Bullet Punch straight off the top, because I'm going to make the safe play. He then switches back out to Sableye, who thinks can take a Bullet Punch, but it clearly doesn't. And I then think he's going to go for the Will-O-Wisp. I know that Sizzle's base speed is probably higher than Sableye, so I'm just going to go for the Bullet Punch and take out that Sableye quite early on. He then decides to bring in, let's see, Latios, which is fine. You can do that if he wants. I'll just decide to switch out and go into my T-Tar. The worst thing he can do is surf me, and due to my Sandstorm being up, I can then, you know, just sort of brush off the surf anyway. I think I'm pretty special defensively invested. So he then withdraws his guy and goes out to Tentacruel, which I take this opportunity to set up my Stealth Rocks, completely forgetting that Tentacruel does actually carry Rapid Spin best part of the time. And I think that do I go for Earthquake now to try and get rid of that Tentacruel? No, I decided to switch out, so I don't really want to take a Scald to the face and go out to Kingdra, which is where he decides to surf, and it does like pitiful damage, which is the word, which is fine. I think I then decide to D-dance up a couple of times, because I'm carrying Chestoberry. I could take pretty much whatever he decides to like throw at me. He decides to go for Rapid Spin, which is absolutely fine. He can get rid of my rocks if he wants. It doesn't really affect his team that much. It's just nice to have rocks up. So Kingdra's just going to get a second D-Dance up here, as he decides to go for the Ice Beam, and I get the Freeze, which is just, it's the most annoying thing ever, because whenever I get frozen, last time was with the Celebi, I got froze for 12 turns, and I didn't decide to switch out. I thought, I know, I'll be able to like thaw myself out with Hidden Power Fire, and it never bloody worked. So I'm trying to, at this point, I'm trying to rest up, because I carry the Chestoberry. If I carried the Lumberry, I'd be absolutely fine and be able to sweep the rest of his team. The Chestoberry with rest equals awesome, but when you get the freeze, it kind of sucks. So I go out to Terrakion, as he probably should have predicted the Earthquake, then I go out to Latios, but he actually goes out to Victini, so I decide to X-Scissor. So he may have predicted my prediction and going out into Victini to try and resist it, which is fine. I then go out to Umbreon, as he goes in for the, was it U-turn I think it was? No, U-turns this time, so I can't remember what the turn was before. He then goes out to do his Terrakion. I decide to Toxic the guy who comes in, because that's a pretty obvious play for him, either going for the U-turn or whatever. I decide to then go out to Espeon, as he then kind of, I imagine, predicts that and goes for the X-Scissor, which would have KO'd my Umbreon as well. So I then go out to my own Terrakion. He then goes out into his Latios. I go for the close combat, just to try and get an easy KO on that Terrakion, which I probably should have predicted off the X's myself, but oh well, whatever. I then decide to go into T-Tar. He then doesn't predict this at all, and so I just go for the Side Shot, which is absolutely fine, because T-Tar resists it. I think I then withdraw T-Tar, predicting the Tentacles to come back in. I then go to Scizor, which will then be able to abuse the U-turn. because I didn't know if he was going to go into these, or I didn't know if he was going to go for the surf or whatever. So I went for the U-turn, went out to Terrakion, who I know can take at least one surf. I would then go for the Earthquake, which I think I do. Yeah, I do. Doesn't affect the Latios clearly because he's got the levitate ability. I then don't really want to take a side shock to the face, so I decided to go out into Tyranitar, which he then decides to predict and go for the surf. Latios then takes some like damage or whatever, and then surf kills my T-Tar, which is absolutely fine. Umbreon then comes in because he's clearly either choice to Scarfed or Specs, which I'm guessing is probably Scarf. Umbreon then takes a surf, like fine. I then decide to wish, he then like takes another one. I then pay back to kill the Latios, as my wish then comes through and I regain half my health. Take a breath. He then goes into Terrakion, which I think I know I can live. He's clearly going to over-predict me and go for the Stone Edge. He then close combats me and I'm like, okay, Umbreon's now dead, that's absolutely fine. I then go out to Scizor and he clearly doesn't want to take a Bullet Punch, so then goes out into Tentacruel. As I do make the safe play again, he just go for the Bullet Punch. If he is carrying Scold, I'd be a little bit more. I'm going to take out my Scizor here, but he's running Surf, so that's fine. He then goes for the Ice Beam, which doesn't really make much sense whatsoever, because my last Pokemon that's left is Terrakion. So I just keep spamming them Bullet Punches, just trying to take him out, which is fine, because I don't really want Terrakion to take either an Ice Beam or a Bullet Punch. He then goes out into Victini. I just leave my Scizor in his Death Fodder at the moment, and just go for that last Bullet Punch. And I think I then do go out into Terrakion and decide to go for the Earthquake, as it will take out his last two Pokemon. He kills the Victini, he then goes out to Terrakion, and this is the bit where it gets awesome. He goes for the Earthquake first. I'm like, no, if only that Speed type paid off in my favour. So that was a good game, Mr. Random Dude person. Don't really know much else to say, to be honest. The Speed type is probably more to do with the fact that I'm an Adamant Nature as opposed to a Jolly Nature, or I think it's Jolly pays off. Yeah, it's Jolly that pays off. I did that with my Haxorus as well. The one Haxorus I did use in another game, which I might not upload, but I pretty much doubt I will. Is banded with the Jolly Nature, just to give it that extra speed, which is kind of like pays out in the long run. And this is where the Pokemon Online music cuts out, because I keep narrating over the top of it. This is the second narration I've done. So guys, let me know if you want to see more of these battles, like me sucking at Pokemon. I'm not too bad, but you see kind of a few misplays there. But not bad for sort of my first good game. I played alright, the other person played very well as well. And it was a good game, so thank you very much, and I shall see you next time.